We have already mentioned that since stream of consciousness literature focuses on psychic processes, mental and spiritual processes of a character, it cannot employ plot in the ordinary sense. If then the stream of consciousness writer cannot draw on the conventional use of plot to provide a necessary unity, he must devise other methods, comments Robert Humphrey. And he gives the following classification of those patterns that replace conventional use of plot in stream of consciousness works. The unities of time, place, character, and action. According to Robert Humphrey, some of the most important and in some way the most interesting means James Joyce uses to compensate for lack of plot and for the intricacies of presenting character on the level of psychic processes are the unities of time and place. Ulysses, for example, takes place on one day, in 18 hours, and in one city. The narrative of Ulysses opens in two places. First, with the beginning of the day, June the 16th, and next, with the beginning of the day in the Bloom household in the fourth episode. All the action takes place in the city of Dublin, and all from the point of view of but three characters. Leitmotifs. A leitmotif is a recurring musical theme associated with a particular person, place, or idea. By extension, the word has also been used to mean any sort of recurring theme, whether in music, literature, or the life of a fictional character, or a real person. In literature, it is defined as a recurring image, symbol, word, or phrase. Joyce's motifs may be classed as image, symbol, or word phrase motifs. They serve to carry minor themes throughout the novel and express with the power of image and symbol what is in the minds of the characters. Most of all, they serve as formal links to aid in holding together the scattered materials of consciousness. An example of image motive in Ulysses is the image Stephen frequently has of his dying mother. It is an obsession for him because he had refused her request to pray for her. The images of Stephen's mother on her deathbed or in her death clothes are the thematic basis for the most emotionally charged monologues in the novel. The symbol motive is even more often exploited in Ulysses. The most amusing example of this is the baked potato, which Leopold Bloom carries with him. It is a talisman for Leopold, a relic of poor Mamma, as he tells the prostitute. Whenever Bloom reaches in his pocket to make sure that talisman is with him, it is an indication that he is setting forth on heroic ventures. Such a venture is a trip to the butcher shop. The employment of words and phrases as a special type of symbol motive is a device at which Joyce is adept. Such a motive is, for example, the famous Metin Pike hoses. Virginia Woolf also makes some use of motifs as unifying devices. Such is the sound image in Mrs. Dalloway of Big Ben striking the hours of the day. Such also is the recurring symbol of the lighthouse, Into the Lighthouse. The entire novel is based on a set of primary symbolic values. Previously established literary patterns, burlesques. The most overt pattern in Joyce follows in Ulysses is burlesque or parody. In his novel Ulysses, instead of Ulysses' adventures on his way home to Penelope, Joyce gives us an ordinary Jewish man by the name of Leopold, who ate with relish the inner organs of beasts and fowls. Symbolic structures. The symbolic design and the symbolic vision can be found in most of Virginia Woolf's work. Clarissa Dalloway's day, her preparations for the party, her final realization of herself at the party, are symbolic. Formal scenic arrangements. Although the Waves is also built on a broad symbolic pattern, the chief structural device Virginia Woolf uses in that novel is one of formal scenic arrangements. This is combined with the symbolic force of the rising and setting sun and the continuous advance of the waves on the shore. And now about stream of consciousness technique. Stream of consciousness is properly a term for psychology, and therefore initially it had only a psychological meaning. The term was coined by William James and was applied to designate the stream, flow of individuals' inner mental processes. In literary studies, this term, according to Robert Humphrey, becomes doubly metaphorical. Consciousness, on the one hand, indicates the entire area of psychic structure, and on the other hand, subconscious, as Robert Humphrey calls them, pre-speech levels of psychic activity. According to Robert Humphrey, it is not what William James meant when he coined the term. James was formulating psychological theory, and he had discovered that memories, thoughts, and feelings exist outside the primary consciousness, and further that they appear to one not as a chain, but as a stream, a flow. Whoever then first applied the phrase to the novel did so correctly, only if he was thinking of a method of representing inner awareness. The word stream need not concern us immediately, for representation of the flow of consciousness is, provided one is convinced that consciousness flows, entirely a matter of technique. The approach to take it to consider the word consciousness is to attempt to formulate what, to the various writers, it means, is the ultimate significance of what consciousness contains. It should be remembered that first, we're attempting to clarify a literary term, and second, we're trying to determine how fictional art is enriched by the depiction of inner state. The attempt to create human consciousness in fiction is a modern attempt to analyze human nature. Humphrey says that consciousness is where we are aware of human experience, and the novelist leaves nothing out: sensations and memories, feelings and conceptions, fancies and imaginations, intuitions, visions, and insights. Stream of consciousness literature is concerned with mental and spiritual experience of a character, both the whatness and howness of it. The whatness includes the categories of mental experiences, sensations, memories, imaginations, conceptions, and intuitions. The howness includes the symbolizations, the feelings, and the processes of association. It is often impossible to separate what from the how. Is, for example, memory a part of mental content, or is it a mental process? Such distinctions, of course, are not the concern of novelists as novelists. Their object, if they are writing stream of consciousness, is to enlarge fictional art by depicting the inner states of their characters. The problem of character depiction is central to stream of consciousness fiction. The great advantage, and consequently the best justification of this type of novel rests on its potentialities for presenting character more accurately and more realistically. There is a difference between the earlier novelists and stream of consciousness writers. The earlier novelists depict external men, their motives and action in the novel, and stream of consciousness writers depict internal men, their psychic existence and functioning in the novel.